Hurt feelings, black eyes, and villains. Yeah, that's Daytona for you. Let's talk about it.
3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? Todd Brown, That Racing Show. Thanks for dropping by for this post-Daytona 500 pit stop edition. I should say post-Daytona edition because we got a lot to cover today, a lot to talk about. And I want to start out right now with this manufacturer's race. What a cool way to start out the season. I mean, we had Fords on the front row in qualifying, Toyotas winning the duels, both races, and then last night Chevrolet's parking at 1 and 2 in the Daytona 500. So hopefully a cool season between the manufacturer's race that will carry over throughout the year. We'll find out this next week if things continue the way that they look like, as Atlanta pretty much super speedway now. So be interesting to follow all this. Now I want to talk about the one thing right here that's in the title, butthurt, because man, there are so many butthurt people out there about this racing. It's not only this Daytona 500, it's throughout the year. And it's, I'm not going to say it's annoying, but man, there's so much bitching about racing anymore. It's not like it used to be, just let them go out there and race. Now everybody's got their insight into it, social media, the internet. Everybody can complain. I don't know if it would have been this way back in the 70s and 80s had we had the same platforms, but it sure is today. Now, NASCAR has been put in some bad positions the whole season already. We've had weather come into the Busch Clash, weather all weekend at Daytona, so they had to make a lot of decisions, make a lot of changes, a lot of things happen. And then last night, with the way the race ended, either way it played out, everybody was not going to be happy. If they hadn't thrown the caution, if they had another restart, no matter what happened, people were not going to be happy. And even Kenny Wallace, he went on his Facebook page in the middle of this to say, quit your bitching, quit your whining, because everybody's complaining about everything. And the more people complain, that's when NASCAR they start making more changes about things because they think nobody's liking the product. And this is super speedway racing. If you follow racing, you know this is what's going to happen. There's going to be the big one. There's going to be crashes. There's going to be things like this where your favorite driver probably isn't going to be there at the end. But again, that's a product of this race. And all in all, I think a really great race. I think all the racing throughout the weekend was pretty damn good racing. And I hope that is a product that continues throughout the season. Now, I want to move on to this right here. Speaking of butt hurts, because there were some comments made, different things about some different drivers. And man, I want to start out right now with Natalie Decker. She went out there 18th place in the Xfinity race. I think it was very commendable for a team that this was just put together a couple weeks ago. Very small team. They go out there. They had to make the race on qualifying. Had it rained out qualifying, they wouldn't even got to race. But yet she got out there, race, come home with an 18th place finish. And then there's people that make comments like this right here. And this guy found out really quick. There's a lot of fans of Natalie Decker out there. And I think this is very commendable of her to do this with this team. The whole production did a great job right there to finish the race. And, you know, if you look at Natalie Decker, she does pretty good at Daytona. Wasn't but just a few years ago, I believe she had a 5th place finish in the truck race there. Last year in the ARCA race, she was driving for Emily Gase, was right up there in the top 10, right around 10th place, coming out of 4. They had some little scuffles going on. I think she come home with a 14th place finish. But some good runs for this young lady. And I don't think she deserves all the hate right now because honestly, there are a lot of male drivers out there in good equipment with a lot of money who aren't doing the best as far as finishes. And this, I don't know, man. Just my opinion. We got to see how the year plays out. And that carried over as well to Haley Deegan last night. A lot of people making negative comments about her. I myself have brought into question in the past about what was going to happen this year. I've said it. I think this is a year that she needs to perform. She needs to have solid finishes because without that, I think it's going to put a little bit of a negative aspect on her in a bad way. I brought it up about Truck Series last year. This is a whole new year. And going into Daytona, you cannot judge the entire season off this race because once again, this is super speedway racing. There's going to be the crashes. Obviously, that's what happened. And you can watch the replays. There's cars going everywhere. There's smoke. There's slow down time. Just unfortunate situations for so many drivers this weekend. But let's give Natalie and Haley a chance throughout the year. Let's see what they do, and then we can decide whether it's just a bad year or bad decisions all the way around. But either way, let's not put a black eye on them already this season. Now, speaking of black eyes, this was something right here that come to my attention. Brad Keselowski, following his wreck in the interview, I sat there and I was like, damn, did he get somebody pop him in the eye? Did something happen in a wreck that really kind of hurt him? And turned out to be that he had football paint under his eyes to knock out the glare. Obviously racing at night with the lights, and something pretty cool, something I would have never thought about. Don't know how it actually helped or if it did help, but it brought up a lot of conversations. And Wendy Venerini chimed in on Twitter and said he had black eyes, his face was swollen and everything else. And then it turns out in the end that it was just this black underneath his eyes that happened. And sorry, Brad. Wendy said you got some chubby cheeks or something there. But either way, man, I'm glad to see all them guys come through, be okay. Would have loved to have seen this race go to the finish without the big ones like this. But again, this is going to happen on the speedways. There's no change in that. And it's unfortunate in so many ways. But let's hope that doesn't happen this next weekend. Now, one of the other things I want to talk about right now here, and this is the issue that happened after the truck race. Obviously, another big wreck coming down the backstretch that involved Rajah Caruth. And following that incident, Bubba Wallace caught on camera pulling him to the side. Looked like there was a little confrontational thing going on right there, but weren't able to really tell. And this is something we'll probably never really know what was talked about in this situation, what words really went on with them. But at the end of it, there was a hug and a handshake and all them good little things. And Bubba put this out last night on Twitter that I think was reminiscent of what happened right here. And let's listen to this.
Remember when we complained that the Cup guys were ruining the show, ignoring the fact that some weeks the youngins would beat the Cup guys, or the fact that if you junked the field and got the Cup guys caught up in it, they would yank your ass to the side.
So I think this was a situation right here where this is mentorship. And a lot of people can play a lot into it. They can think a lot into it. But Rajah's got a great future. And I think Bubba has had so many things happen to him in the past and had people attack him in so many ways that he doesn't want to see this happen to Rajah. I think that's a really cool thing to do as far as a mentor. And, like I say, Rajah's got a great future. Looking forward to seeing where he goes, how far he gets in the NASCAR series. And but again, I think Bubba's another one this year who needs to perform. A lot of drivers out there need to perform in all the different levels of the NASCAR Top Series. And it's going to be cool. Going to be interesting. See how this year plays out for him. A 23-11 finishes. Again, Toyotas are looking strong. That new front end, it's working for them. Everybody out there has got some performance underneath them. Look at Rick Ware Racing. I mean, it'd be cool to see these guys get up there and run. Front Row Motorsports. Love to see all these guys up there. Some new cars up the front, adding to the mix. So, man, I'm excited for this year. And as you can tell with this episode, I want to talk about something different throughout the year. Everybody's covering everything with the finish and every little conversation that goes on. I want to do something that nobody else is talking about. So that's what I'm trying to do. And as always, I want your comments down below. Tell me what you think about all these situations right here. Everything that we talked about today, because that's the name of this show. That racing show, to talk about that racing. Because, man, that's what we're here for. That's why we're going back and forth right now. And that's why you're watching. So please throw them comments down below. And if you like what I'm doing, please hit that subscribe button. Going to have a fun year. And, man, I want you to be a part of everything with me. So hit that subscribe. Throw down them comments. Give this episode a like. Anyways, hope everybody out there is having a great week. And as always, we'll see you at the checkered flag.